Well, welcome back, baseball fans, to the Fall Carryover League. We are moving into the American League, part of the Divisional round, and we have the series between the number 4 American League North winner Cleveland against the number 1 seeded Boston Red Sox. And let's start with it. This is an interesting, though. Well, Boston's up 2-0. They won both games in Fenway, and Cleveland's facing elimination. But let's kind of look at something here in these two games. Here's game 1. And one thing I noticed about this game is that this Cleveland team is actually a little bit better than I thought they were, but the Red Sox are frickin' loaded anyway. And so Cleveland, in the first inning, they load the bases with walks, get a ground ball to score a run because they have high on-base percentage. They get a 2-run blast by Oscar Gamble in the third inning, and you're thinking 3-0, we're going to get an upset here. And now let's look at Boston for a second. First inning, get a guy on, they hit no double play. Second inning, guy on, double play. Let's skip to the fourth inning for a second. They get a guy on, double play. 3 double plays for the Red Sox in the first 4 innings. Now let's go back to the third inning. They get a guy on, 1 out. They hit a ground ball to Dwayne Kuiper, who's a 2E13, excellent defensive second baseman, but he boots it. 3-run homer by Freddie Lynn, a couple more walks, 3-run homer by Butch Hobson. The Red Sox score 7 runs in the third inning. So if Kuiper doesn't boot that, they basically have 4 straight double plays, and it's 3-0 plus 2 more runs by the Indians. It's 5-zip. And then, just to add insult to injury, this is Gaylord Perry getting knocked around, by the way, by the Indians. Another homer for Hobson, another homer for Lynn. And it's an 11-5 laugher after all of that. And one thing is painfully obvious here is that you have to figure out to get a left-hander to face the Red Sox, because they just demolish right-handed pitching. So, the scheduled Game 2 pitcher was originally going to be Dennis Eckersley, but then they decided, you know what, let's bump up Doug Rowell to pitch Game 2. Bill Travers, another lefty in Game 3. We got to do something. We can't just let this barrage go on. So in Game 2, it's Doug Rowell, and he actually makes a couple huge mistakes, but besides that, let's skip to the fourth inning. He walks a couple batters, and then 3-run homer Dwight Evans. In the fifth inning, he walks Fisk, and then 2-run homer Freddie Lynn. So 5 runs on 2 swings, and that's more than enough. It's 5-0 because Bill Lee, the Game 2 starter, throws a 1-hit shutout, and this is very bothersome to me. This 1 hit is a fly ball left X on Jim Rice. Ooh, he's not horrible. He's a 3E15 in left field this particular year. It falls in for a bloop single in the 4th inning. Little did we know that would be the only hit of this game, since it's so very hard, so very difficult to get no-hitters in Strat-O-Matic. Anyway, Boston wins. They go up 2-0 in the series, and the Indians are down to the hope of their other lefty starter, the guy who pitched their wild card game very well, Bill Travers. The series is shift to Cleveland. They're hoping for a little home cooking. But your Game 3 starters for Boston, it's going to be Doug the Fidrich Bird. That's kind of a play on something there. Yeah, Doug Bird. And, yeah, Bill Travers for the Tribe. So, Indians. Another thing Boston has done is their lineup for lefties and righties. They decided to leave their big guns in their normal spots, which is Yaz, Fisk, Lynn, Rice, Evans in the top 5 spots, Hobson, Burleson in the 7-8 spots. And the only adjustments they make versus lefties is that they bring in Doug Flynn for Denny Doyle, and John Will the Sun Come Out Tomorrow Go for Bernie Carbo as a DH. So they leave the order the same. instead of trying to make it more opportunistic versus lefties. So that's the new Boston strategy against lefties. Cleveland is the first test. And beyond this, I don't think Kansas City or Oakland has much left-handed pitching. So let's get started from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. This is Yastrzemski, 47. Single 1 of 10 off Travers is a line out. Fisk, 58, short X. This is Cheney's a 40-36, makes the play. And Freddie Lynn, 5'11's a K. Jim Norris, 6'8, base hit off Bird. Ace stealer, but you got Fisk, so you're not going anywhere. Buddy Bell, 6'10, third X. This is Hobson, 40-37. This should be on, and it is a single. Rick Manning, 49. A single to center. You're not going to run off the -2 Arma Lynn. They're loaded for Andre Thornton. 37 is that bases loaded walk the Indians are known for. And the Indians have it going on in the first. Oscar Gamble, 44. Center X. Lynn's a 1E6. And you get nothing as the strong throw to the plate, runners hold. 1 out for Lee Lacy. 57 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Dwayne Kuiper. They get a big hit here, and they don't get it. A roller to first, and that's all they can do against Boston. That doesn't bode well. Jim Rice, base hit. Dwight Evans flies to right. Doug Flynn flies to right. And Hobson, center. Hobson usually gets pulled by the 6th or 7th innings of this terrible defense, which didn't really cost them much yet. Kendall, 58. Double 1 of 17 is a double. Cheney, 56. Short X. Burleson's not really that great. He's a 338. And that's a single off Burleson. Runners on the corners. They got to bring it up for Norris. 33. Short A. Now you got second and third. Still up for Bell. Pops to second. And with 2 outs, Rick Manning, 45, flies to left field, and just like that, Doug Bird puts 6 guys on, only 1 score, and the Indians may be regretting this. Rick Burleson lines a short. Tamargo, 35 is a walk. Yastrzemski, 67 is a K. And Fisk, 52, center. No instance where lefty-righty has made a difference yet. Andre Thornton, 211. I'll let you know when that happens. Grounds a short. Gamble, 35's a walk. Lacy, 211. Short A+. Gamble's not being held on. Double play. 1-0 game. Red Sox are liking this. Freddie Lynn, 58. Short. The 4 at short. He makes the play. Jim Rice, 38. Ks. And with 2 outs, Dwight Evans, 1-7. And this is going to be double single, and that's the first change. That would have been a home run versus a right-hander for Dwight Evans. Let's look at Dwight's card. You see? Really suspicious, these Red Sox. And it's mostly because they probably didn't face a lot of lefties in Fenway. That 27% is probably on the road. Anyway, it's double 1 of 2 single. And with 2 outs, it's Flynn, 2-3 right. Alright, showed 1 card today. Dwayne Kuiper, 1-4. First. Fred Kendall, 45. Center. Gerald Cheney, 45. Left. 1 zip in the 5th. Bill Travers, being the postseason hero thus far for the Indians. Butch Hobson, 112. K plus injury. Well, that makes that easy. So he gets pulled early, not for defense, but for an injury. And Denny Doyle will play second, and the second baseman Flynn moves to third. So they now have 2s at second and third. So they get an improvement on defense earlier than expected. Burleson, 59's a walk. John, will his son come out tomorrow? Another walk in the 3 column on 3-9 after getting one on 3-5. Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski, sky's the center. 2 outs for Fisk, 48 Fisk. Single 1 of 6 off Travers, lines out. Nice pitcher's duel here. 1 zip, Jim Norris, 39. Unlikely pitcher's duel after the way Bird was giving up runners earlier on. Buddy Bell, 39 left. Rick Manning, 66. Fly ball to right. Indians are making it difficult for themselves. 1 zip in the 6. Freddie Lynn, Bill Travers, 37. And here we go. Let's look at Lynn's card. This is a strikeout. This is what I'm saying. They destroy righties. That's a walk against righties, and he, you know. So, Jim Rice, 2-3 short. Dwight Evans, 1-4 short. Boston can be tamed versus left-handed pitching if things go the right way here. Andre Thornton, 2-7. Single 1 of 16 is a base hit. Gamble, 34. 4-6-3 double play. Indians are just screwing this up. Lee Lasley, 2-7 is a single. Doug Bird pitching on borrowed time here. Dwayne Kuiper, 55, second. But the problem with the Red Sox, Bird's is a decent pitcher, and so is Bonson, but the bullpen is horrible. And that could doom this team if they're not scoring 6 and 7 runs a game. 1-0 game in the 7th. Bill Travers. Doug Flynn in the 7th. 5-10. Catcher's card. He's a 3-1. He's out. And Denny Doyle against a lefty rolls to first. And Burleson. 1-3, flies to right. 2-hitter for Travers after Bill Lee threw a 1-hitter in Fenway in Game 2. I'm telling you, these Indians got some pluck about them. 1-0 game, 7th inning stretch. We're listening to the James Gang Thirds LP. Hoping that helps them out here. And in the bottom of the 7th, Bird is... You got to break him to get him out of there as a starter 7. Fred Kendall. There's no magic bullet in that Boston bullpen. 2-7 for Kendall as a pop to second. Darrell Chaney, 34, grounds to first. Jim Norris, 1-5's a walk. Do you want to do something ridiculous like a stolen base off of Fisk? Why not? He's gonna He's gonna try and steal, and he's gunned down. So that didn't work. All right, 8th inning. Bill Travers. Can we help this man out with some defense, perhaps? You can bring in a slightly better shortstop. Frank Duffy will play short for Chaney. And you know what? The +2 armor Fred Kendall, you're going to leave him in there because maybe that'll entice, Yastrzemski, who's a B stealer, to attempt a stolen base and get thrown out. In some opposite logic there. So Tamargo, 1-7. Let's look at this guy here. Not quite sure what he's even doing on the Red Sox, other than they needed to get a backup catcher for Fisk. So seldom used John Tamargo, who had 98 at-bats for the Giants in 78. Today he's rolled a 3-5 and a 3-9, and now a 1-7 versus lefties. He's been on all 3 times with a double. And oh my, here it comes. We can get really crafty here. And we will. Rick Miller is going to run for Tamargo. He's a C stealer, but he's a 1-16 runner, and he'll also play left field, and Rice will be the new DH. So runner at second for Yastrzemski in a 1-0 game. 32 pops to first. Carlton Fisk. 35's a walk. Also a walk versus righties. Make or break time for Travers. Probably your final batter with Rice and Evans behind Lynn. Freddie Lynn, 2 on, 1 out. The pitch, 2-11. First B. Interestingly, that's double play versus a right-hander. Versus a lefty, it's just first B, which will move a runner to third base. So you have runners on the corners, and oh my goodness, you got Jim Rice, and frankly, it doesn't really matter. Truly it doesn't. He has more homers versus righties. And Travers is pitching his mind out, so he will face Jim Rice. Runners on the corners, 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. The pitch to Rice. Let's take a look at his card first. There's the Jim Rice card. You see, there's not much you can do, particularly with Dwight Evans up next. The pitch. 4-10 off the Travers card is a shallow fly ball to center field. We got a 1-0 game in the bottom of the 8th. And Bird, he's not going anywhere. Buddy Bell, 64, catcher's card. Fiscal 26. Wow, really crisply well played game. 48, Rick Manning. Single 1 of 10 line of short. He lines a short. And Andre Thornton. 49, base hit. And with 2 outs, it's Gamble Oscar. And, oh, do they dare do it? Oh, he sucks against lefties anyway. So does he. No, he's going to pitch to Oscar Gamble. I was going to bring a lefty to face him, but the lefties suck. The righties aren't that great either. So Bird pitches to Gamble in a big spot here with 2 outs and a man on. 2-2. Gamble flies it into left. Oh boy. And what a nervous stadium this is. 1-0 in the 9th inning. The first batter of the game scored the only run for the Indians. Bill Travers, 2 batters break him. Evans, Flynn, Doyle. You got Jim Kern, your closer. Obviously, we saw Evans destroys righties, so Travers will pitch to Dwight Evans to start the 9th inning. 1-5. It doesn't matter. 1-17. He rolls a 2 and it's gone. Not a lot you can do in that situation, and Boston finally gets a run off of Travers. Oh boy. Tough break there for the Indians. Now you got Flynn, Doyle, Burleson, and Miller. I think you just have to let Travers pitch his mind out. It's, you know, keep going. Doug Flynn, 47, double 1 of 12's a double. Oh boy, and that does break him. You know what though? Denny Doyle's the batter, and he can't hit lefties. Travers is going to hit a pitch to him broken, and after the double, I think Denny Doyle might try a risky bunt here to get the guy to third with 1 out. So this is all sorts of crazy statistical breakdown here. We're going to do a B bunter bunting. A guy who's already on second base to third for the road team to get him there with 1 out. Denny Doyle. And the bunt is no good. That's why you don't do that. That's why you don't do that. So a B bunter, and the guy gets thrown out at third base. Wow. Huge mistake. We'll call that a 2-5. That was a big boneheaded mistake there. Travers, still broken. Burleson, Miller, and Yastrzemski. Oh my gosh. 2 out of the 3 are lefties. They're leaving broken Travers in there. So the runner's at first with 1 out, and it's Burleson. 48, single 1 of 6. Oh, look at this. It's a 5. First and second. And now you've got Rick Miller, who has virtually no hits on his card. Let's show you Rick Miller here in the 9th inning. First and second with 1 out, thanks to that great defensive play. Rick Miller, the pitch, 1-9, is ground ball third B plus, which with runners at first and second is simply ground ball third. So you have runners on the corners, 2 outs, and the final lefty of the inning, Carl Yastrzemski. And Travers is going to pitch to him broken too. This is unprecedented for an elimination game too, to leave a broken pitcher in. But anyway, here it is. You got runners on the corners. Yastrzemski, here's the pitch. 68 is a sky to center field, and Travers worms out of the mess thanks to the Denny Doyle bunt. And we have a 1-1 game. Wow. Well, that was the Red Sox getting greedy and win the series in 3. And in the bottom of the 9th, Doug Bird is still out there because why not? You're playing with house money at this point. It'll be Lacey, Kuiper, Kendall, Duffy. Lee Lacey, 64, is catcher's card. This is Fisk, a 186. I sense a 16-inning game coming on. Dwayne Kuiper, 38's a single. The winning run is at first for Fred Kendall. Here we go. Fred Kendall is going to do a hit and run. He's a B hit and runner. All the crazy hit and run. He gets the 12B. Yes, that is the single for Kendall. No! Hang on, it is not. I blew it. Kuiper is a C stealer. He's not being held. That means that is not... Let's go to the chart here. Yeah, he is not a B in this... Excuse me, he's not an A in this situation. He would still be a B because we're not holding the runner. I thought we were... It's a double play. That is a double play. And I'll explain why that's a double play. Because I thought Kuiper was a B stealer and was being held. He's a C stealer and I don't hold him. And Kendall hit and run and rolled a 12. If he was being held on base, that's a single through the hole. In this instance, it's a line out the second, and what's his name is plucked off first base. This is crazy. This is why you don't do those hit and runs and bunts in Strat-O-Matic. It has made a mockery of the 9th inning of an elimination game. So, we will go to the 10th inning, and we know something. Unless you're a starter 9, you don't get to go into the 10th inning. So Travers and Bird, their acts are done in this saga. And we're going to see a whole lot, maybe a whole little, of Jim Kern. Let's take a look at him. Try and deal with this Boston lineup against righties. And he will be in there probably for the duration in an elimination game. As we go to the top of the 10th, Fisk leads it off. Let's put Kearns here. And Carlton Fisk. There we go. 1-8 for Fisk is the sky to center. Freddie Lynn. 1-7 is a K. And with 2 outs, Jim Rice. 1-8 is going to be on base. Boy, is that ever. Did we show the Rice card? I can't recall if I did or not. Well, if we'll show it now. Yes, triple 1 to 17 double. Misses the triple, though, on this 19. Has to settle for 2. And it's Dwight Evans. You could walk him to pitch to Doug Flynn. And they will. They're going to walk him. Every move I've made so far has blown up in my face. So let's see if one more blows up. So Dwight Evans gets walked to face Doug Flynn. And Flynn, 2-9, grounds to short. So that worked. All right, Boston's got to figure out who gets to pitch extra innings. I nominate Bob Stanley because he's a relief 4-7. Let's take a look at Stanley. Yeah, probably the best part of the bullpen, the long man. So Stanley will pitch the 10th, which begins with Frank Duffy in the 9 spot, leading it off. Got 5-12 is a walk. Duffy's a 1-14 runner. Jim Norris, 2-8, double 1-3 is a double. Second and third, here come the Indians, and Buddy Bell is an A bunter. No, I'm not going to squeeze. Second and third, nobody out. They got to bring it up for Buddy Bell. The pitch, 3-12, is, you guessed it, folks, a Lomax. Lines into what would be a triple play, but I don't play that game. It's a lines into a double play. And with a liner to third, it means the runner who was on third gets double up. So it's 5-5-5. If it was line out to second, I'd take the guy off of second base. So I'm taking the guy off of third base, which was Duffy. So Norris is still at second with 2 outs after the Lomax. And it's Rick Manning off Bob Stanley. 45! There it is! Off the Stanley card is a base hit in this incredible game. This is one of the better games of trying to manipulate strategy, matchup, lineup. Bizarre game. But that is a walk-off single. Scoring Duffy. Scoring Norris from second base. As this 1-1 single ... And that's your ball game. 2-1, Indians win it. They were leading most of the way until Dwight Evans homer in the 9th, a double by Flynn, a bizarre bunt that failed, 2 more outs, a Lomax that was a double play, a hit and run failure that was a double play, a Lomax that should have been a triple play that was only a double play, and yet they still win the game. Cleveland does in the bottom of the 10th. And after all of that, you get the idea that it's going to be really hard to beat the Red Sox. So Kern gets the win in his 1 inning, a hit, a walk, and a K. Travers pitched out of his mind again. 6 hits, the solo homer to Dwight Evans, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Stanley, the unfortunate loss. 2 hits, a run, and a walk. Doug Bird wishes he was a starter 9, so he could have kept pitching. He threw a nice 9-hitter there. 1-0-0-10, 0-1-0, 9 2/3, 2-11, 1-7, 5-6-4-1. That was game number 3, and the Indians prevail and fend off elimination. But the problem is they've run out of left-handed starting pitching, which means in game 4, the Indians, not the Red Sox, but the Indians will be sending Dennis Eckersley out there. We'll get to that shortly after we look at the team's year-to-date numbers. Starting with Cleveland, they finally got their 20th win. They're 20-15, hitting .255 with a 3.92 ERA. Because they have really a nice... These 4 starters are all pretty good. Perry, Travers' ERA... Let me go through these ERAs while I have the cards right in front of me. So Perry, 2.72. Travers, 2.81. Eckersley is 3.53, and Rao, the number 4 starter, is 2.57. So Eckersley really is their worst pitcher. And let's go up to Boston. Boston's now 22-12, hitting .283 with a 3.84 team ERA, but that's largely because of these 2 gentlemen, Louis Tiant and Bill Lee. Actually, Doug Bird hasn't been that bad either. But Tiant and Lee has kept that team ERA down because their bullpen is horrible. And so the rotation for game 4, this is Boston. There'll be Stan Bonson, and you see the retooled Cleveland rotation here. As a matter of fact, game 5, if there is a game 5, was supposed to be Gaylord Perry. I'm going to switch it up to Doug Rao on 3 days rest. Go with a lefty against Boston if there is a game 5. So it'll be Eckersley, Bonson in game 4. And I'll play that one, and we'll let you know what happens next time we do a video. Thank you for checking out the 76-7-8-9 postseason. We'll see you again soon.